Detroit Become Human is not only a game that has— oh shit, dude! Oh my god, this is amazing! But also has— fuck yeah, baby! Woohoo! And it's brought to us by Mr. David Cage, the guy who made Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain, Fahrenheit, and Omicron the Nomad what the fuck is this? And from what I can tell, weird blue man game aside, all of David's games are what is known as interactive stories, also known as a healthy mix of interactive cutscenes, quicktime events, and plodding around. And this is actually the first one of his games I've played, because this type of thing is usually about as appealing to me as I am to single women, but I actually like it. I mean, it's a bit weird and it's definitely got its flaws, but overall I think it's pretty okay. The game takes place in a future where sentient androids have been created who serve the humans, so of course the game has to make a big thing about, oh, this isn't just a story, this is the future we're heading to, ooh, beware of technology, I watch a lot of Black Mirror. And the story follows three of these androids, Connor, Kara, and Marcus, also known as Robot Cop, Robot Mom, and Robot Jesus. Connor's story is about catching android criminals, Marcus joins an android rebellion thing, and Kara looks after a little girl, and I swear to god, you could give me the world's best researchers and the rest of my life to look, and I wouldn't be able to find one interesting thing about her. She sucks! But overall, I do like these stories. I mean, they do each have their problems and plot holes, but mostly I was just impressed by the crazy amount of variety. That's actually what drew me to this game more than anything, all the different branching paths the game promised to have, because I mean, let's be real, usually when a game says your actions will have consequences, they really mean some characters will like you, some will hate you, and you'll probably accidentally kill your favorite one. But this is actually a game that means it. All the things you say, all the things you do, they all have effects on the story, and you can get pretty drastically different results depending on the choices you make. It actually feels like a game where you can make your own story, which I really like. Plus, they even show you the path you took at the end of each section so you can see what choices you made, all the stuff you missed, and wonder what could have been. It's like looking at an old photo album, but not quite as depressing. And I like how each character feels kind of unique in how they play. Connor's gameplay is more thoughtful because of the crime-solving stuff, Marcus is a bit more actiony, and Kara does a lot more talking and resisting the urge to throw this boring brat off a bridge. Oh wait, that's just me! Nah, but really I did like all the stories in their own way. Obviously with this much choice, you pretty much decide for yourself how likable the characters are, but I generally thought the writing was good. Generally meaning not all the time. Well, to be honest with you, this game tends to go up and down a bit. You know, sometimes I was thinking, man, this story is getting really interesting, and other times I was thinking, god damn it, how many times is this game gonna make me walk down a fucking corridor? And the whole thing gets off to a pretty slow start. I mean, look, I can appreciate that a game like this needs to have pacing and world building, but it's still kind of weird to open your game with a tense, high-stakes hostage negotiation, followed by doing some dishes and helping an old man take a shit. Okay, but seriously, I don't want to give you the impression that I dislike the story. I mean, I do think it's flawed and it definitely has its slow bits, but most of the time I really enjoyed it. The writing was good, I liked most of the characters, and I loved how tense the game could get, especially when I made a choice I wasn't sure about and thought, oh Jesus Christ, I've ruined everything. But we haven't really talked about the actual gameplay, meaning we haven't answered the question of what's to stop you from just watching this thing on YouTube and saving 60 bucks. Well, one, you won't have the satisfaction of going through your own personal story, 2, you won't be able to do any of the QuickTime event stuff yourself, and 3, you'll go to hell for being a cheap fucker who doesn't support the creators. I mean, look at David Cage, you've made him cry! But going back to the second one, it might sound silly saying you won't get to do any of the QuickTime events, considering those are usually about as fun as a wet sock, but weirdly enough, in this game they could actually be kind of exciting. Maybe it's because you know there will be actual consequences if you fuck it up. I mean, usually the worst thing that happens when you fuck up a QuickTime event in another game is you have to watch the cutscene again, whereas in this game you could get a goddamn piano dropped on you. But honestly, there's not really much to say about the gameplay overall. I mean, it's perfectly functional, you know, the QTEs, the investigating, the interacting, the walking. There's a shitload of walking. It all works perfectly well, but it's clearly not the main focus of the game, because it's not really a game. It's an interactive story. I mean, that should tell you everything you need to know right there. And since I've already talked about the story, I guess there's not much left to say. I mean, there are the great visuals and impressive motion capture you've no doubt already noticed, which definitely did help the game feel more realistic, but also made it that much funnier when the game glitched out. But at the end of the day, it's the story that you're gonna remember, so is it good enough to sell the game to you on its own? Well, it definitely has its problems, and it's nowhere near as smart as it thinks it is, but on the whole, yeah, I think it is. There are times when it will make you laugh both intentionally and unintentionally, but I'd say the appeal of making your own story is enough for me to recommend it. Plus, I'd say the tense QTEs and equally heart-pounding decision-making makes this a game I think you should actually check out for your Okay, never mind. Forget everything I said. No one should play this game. Literally not a single person should play this. And you know what? If I find out any of you sick fucks played this filth for yourself, I'm telling your mothers.